Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Into CS. In this channel, you will be finding educational content related to CS topics. I will be covering most important or mostly used CS topics and I will be explaining it to you in this channel. Now, so please subscribe to this channel to stay in the loop. Now what I'm going to do is the first topic which I'm going to start explaining is the Linux command line. All you people know is that in a computer there is a graphical user interface and there is also a command line. So previously when computers came into existence, there was no graphical user interface or GUIs. Everything used to run through a terminal, and inside the terminal there used to be a shell, and from shell command people used to give commands and the computers used to perform it. So command line is a very powerful tool which gives us like extra power and extra power to perform various actions. Like we can automate stuff, we can also control various processes which we can't access through GUIs. So in this course, I will be explaining the Linux command line, and what I will do is I will be dividing this content into four parts. So like it will be part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4. So I'll be, since this is a little bit big topic, I don't want to compress all the information into a single video and make it into a very large video. So what I'll be doing is I will be dividing it into small parts so that you can refer to these parts and gain the knowledge. And these parts will be like incremental. If you are new to this topic, I recommend going through the parts one by one, means in the order in which they appear. But if you are already using this command line and want to learn a particular topic, you can just go to that topic and learn it. So basically, I'll be dividing this whole content into four parts. But I may be posting like more than four videos also. Like the content is divided into four parts, but the videos are not. So okay, let's get let's go into the topics. The first part will be basics of the shell. Like in this part, I will be covering like what is shell. Basically, I will be telling you what a shell is, what is the definition of it, and we will also explore some most used commands inside the shell for doing various tasks like navigation, creating directories and files, redirection, processes, permissions. How can we access these things using a shell? I will be explaining it to you in this part. So here it is. Explore some of the most important commands of shell, like navigation, like how will you navigate to various files or various parts of your OS using shell, and how will you be creating files and directories, what is the file structure, and what is redirection, what are processes, what are permissions. All these commands I will be covering. And I forgot to mention that this command line course is targeted toward Linux users, and basically, and most probably we will be using the bash shell. It's not most probably we will be using the bash shell to cover all these topics. So this is the part one. I'll be covering all the basics of the shell. Now the part two will be configuring the shell and learning about environment. So in this part, what we will be doing is we will learn how to configure the shell according to our use case and according to our liking, and we will also be learning about the most important topic called environment. So we will learn what is environment, and we will also learn how to customize the prompt in the shell. And we will also be learning how to use an editor inside the shell to use it. Since you will be creating files and modifying them, you should know how to use a from the shell, editor in the shell, and we will be learning like most lightweight editors which you can use with the shell. Most probably we will be covering VI here, like basics of VI. So this will be the second part. Let me maximize this. So this will be the first part, and this will be the second part. So now the third part which we'll be covering is what are the important tools used in the shell. Like in shell, what happens is we don't means we can't just use the shell. We also need to use third-party tools and third-party software which people create. So we need a package manager to do this thing. So we will be learning package management, and we will also be using how to interact with storage media, and we will learn about networking here. So these three things will be covered in part 3. Now in part 4, we will be learning common tasks done using shell. So common tasks like searching, archiving, how to back up your system, how text processing works, and how to use regex, and how to compile programs. All these things we'll be learning, like searching, archiving and backup, text processing, and how to use regex, and compiling programs. These are the four parts which we'll be covering, and there is also another part. This will be the final part for this Linux command line series, and it will be writing shell scripts. So once you know everything about shell, like basics about shell and how to start with the shell, you should you should know how to write shell scripts and how to perform automation tasks using shell scripts. So at last we'll be writing shell scripts. Like I will be explaining variables, conditions, loops, etc. in the fifth part. So I think this will give you a holistic view of what a Linux command line is and how to use Dash shell to improve your workflow. Yep, that's it for this intro video, and see you in the course.